Thank you so much for joining me today as I talk about December in Ghana. I want to make sure that you can all hear me loud and clear. I've had some audio challenges today, some technical difficulties, which is why I joined late on this live stream. So, my apologies to those of you who have been waiting for me. I am here live for discussions on December in Ghana. My apologies again. Welcome to this live stream. My apologies for coming on late. I had some technical issues, which is why it delayed me coming on right at 6:30, which was my plan, 6:30 p.m. Ghana time, GMT. So I'm here now. Thank you for patiently waiting. And do tell me in the comments where in the world you are watching from. Make sure you can hear me loud and clear because I had some technical challenges with audio. So hopefully you can hear me loud and clear. So today, if you have never joined my channel before, if you've never watched before, my name is Ivy Prosper, and I talk about stories from Africa and the African diaspora. And today I'm talking about December in Ghana. I know it seems a little bit early for me to be talking about December, right? December is a few months away. We're in August still. So why in the world am I talking about December in Ghana? Well, it's because a lot of people, when they're planning to come to Ghana, who are coming in the month of December, they are planning their trips in advance. Some people planned it even in January that they were coming to Ghana in December. Some hotels have already fully been booked. I was talking to one of the managers at the Lancaster Hotel, which used to be known as the Golden Tulip Hotel. And he said that in January, they already fully booked the month of December 2023. I spoke with somebody at Labadi Hotel a couple of months back who said that they had been also almost completely booked at that time. Kempinski also almost completely booked already. So if you are planning your trip to Ghana, you need to do it quickly because hotels are running out of rooms. The prices of flights are just going up. They're not going down, they're going up. So it's best to plan ahead. Also, one of the reasons why I wanted to talk today is because December in Ghana calendar has been officially released by the Ghana Tourism Authority Beyond the Return Secretariat. The announcement was made just over a week ago, announcing that there are events already on the calendar, and the December in GH calendar is more than the month of December. It features events happening from November through the first 2 weeks of January. So it gives you an opportunity to get involved in some of the activities that are happening from mid November through mid January 2024. So yeah, and I have a lot of people in my DMs asking me questions. So I thought, you know what? Why not do a live stream so that I can share information? And then there's people who also still want to be involved. They have events that they want to know how to get on the calendar. So let me acknowledge those of you who have joined. Miss AJ Tube, thank you so much for being here. My apologies for being late. As I mentioned in the beginning, I had some technical issues with getting online today. So thank you for joining. Gray Hair Wisdom 333, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Tour and Relocation Community Ghana, thank you so much. You're in Ghana. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. We have Admin Bentley. What's the government doing about visa on arrival? Let me answer your question. I just want to acknowledge everybody who has joined the live stream first. We have Kwame Olatunji, who's always a dedicated fan. I really appreciate you for watching and supporting as always. And then I have Kwame said he's in London. Thank you so much. You're in London. I appreciate you. And yeah, so those are the people who we have who've joined the live stream so far. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Back to this person's question about what's the government doing about visa on arrival. I kind of wanted to get into things before I jumped ahead into this question, but I'll acknowledge it in case you're not able to stay on the live stream for the whole live stream. So visa on arrival is something that is not generally available to the general public. It is something that is limited to, I think it's the ECOWAS members of ECOWAS countries, which is the Economic West African states, and diplomats, members of the African Union, etc. So it's not typically to the general public. You usually have to go to the Ghana embassy in your local country, or mission, or consulate, to apply for the visa in advance. So in previous years, so in 2019, we had visa on arrival during the year of return for anybody who was coming to Ghana because of year of return. And then last year, December, January, the government also did visa on arrival for people who were coming during the holiday season because it was so busy and visas were not coming quick enough for people when they applied. Visas were running out. So this year, a decision has not yet been made, but the Beyond the Return and Ghana Tourism Authority has put in the request. So now we are waiting for what is going to happen as far as if it's going to be approved or not. So that's the answer to your question. For now, it's being worked on. I don't have a yes or no answer for you, but thanks for asking that question. And then we have Dimitri. Oh, for more, can't wait to go back. Face purple crying. Oh, I'm sure you're going to have a great time when you go back. Kofi Azuma, hi there, my beautiful sister, and Queen Ivy. Thank you so much for joining. Kofi Azuma, I see you often on my channel, so thank you so much for being a supporter. Emin Bentley, you are welcome. Jose Long, thank you so much. You have been another person that has been dedicated and following me. I know of late I haven't been online as much as in the past, but I appreciate you for always coming through. He says, Ghana in December sounds great. Of course, old folks like me might find it a bit challenging. That is true. There's a lot that's happening that can be quite tiring for people who are of the older demographic. So I totally understand you. I feel it. Kofi says it's not easy to catch Ivy live. Yeah, I haven't been going live often, but this time I posted in advance that I was going to be coming on live. So I appreciate you, those of you who have joined. So back to the purpose of this live stream, which is about the December in Ghana calendar of events. Since 2019, the Ghana Tourism Authority, the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, and at that time, Year of Return, now Beyond the Return, has released this schedule of events that tells you what events are happening in Ghana during the month of December into early January, letting you know all of the activities you can be involved in, all of the action you want to partake in, and it sort of helps you with building your itinerary when you are coming to Ghana, or if you already live in Ghana and you're trying to plan your holiday season, things that you want to do. So each year, that calendar often doesn't get released until maybe like a month and a half before. And a lot of people have said that they would like it to be released earlier. So it gives them an opportunity to plan their trip, plan their itinerary in advance, well in advance even. So this year we put the call out for event organizers to submit their events early so that we can put this calendar out early. So it was about a week and a half ago when it was officially released with the dates of all the different events, but it's going from November, December, and January. So even though it's called December in GH, there are people who come earlier. And so there are activities that are on the calendar. Now, to get the calendar of events together, it is curated by us looking through the Beyond the Return Secretariat, the Beyond the Return Steering Committee, going through all of the applications that people submit using a Google form, a generic Google form that everyone, not generic, but a Google form that has been created with the same questions for everyone to answer what it is that they want to do with respect to their events, so that we have a consistency in the application process. And then it's reviewed before approval. We do communicate with the event organizers in making the decision to get more information from them outside of the form that they have filled out. So so that's the process. So let me go to the comments. Kofi says, make sure you're all watching Ivy right now to call your friends and family members to come watch. Thank you. I really appreciate you. And Kofi says, make sure you all donate to her channel also. Thank you so much for mentioning that. If you are looking to support my channel, you can certainly do so. I do have a link that I have. If you want to support the channel, I'll put it in the comments for anyone who's interested in doing that. Since Kofi has mentioned it, I'll put it there right now. If anybody's interested in supporting the channel, the link is in the comments. So I appreciate you for saying that. And yeah, so with the events, we have a website, which is the Beyond the Return. So Beyond the Return's website is beyondthereturnGH.com. Let me put that on the screen for some of you who may not know. This is the website. It's beyondthereturnGH.com. And on that website, you will find the link for December in Ghana. It's a December in GH in the tab on the homepage. And when you tap on that tab, it'll bring you to the page where there's information about downloading the calendar if you want a copy of the calendar for yourself, if you're planning a trip to Ghana, or if you live in Ghana and you're trying to plan activities you're going to do during the months of November through early January. But I can also go to show you that what that page looks like if you are not like in front of a computer or you want to stay on the live stream and you don't necessarily want to jump off the live stream. But I'll show you the screen. You can see it on the side there. This is where it is. So when you go to the beyondthereturnGH.com website, on the middle tab says December in GH. And when you tap that tab, it opens to this screen. And this screen has the entire calendar of events that we have right now. There are more that are being added because we have opened up the submissions for people to submit their events if they want to submit their events for the next round of events to be added to the calendar. So your event must align with one of the pillars of the Beyond the Return, the foundation of the Beyond the Return initiative. And some people don't know that Beyond the Return is something that is a 10-year campaign. Some people think it's just December parties, events, but it's actually a whole year of activities that happen. And it happens to be that the holiday season is the busiest time. And that's why it gets the most publicity. So it's all year long. And there's 7 pillars. You can go to the website and get the information. The 7 pillars are Experience Ghana, Celebrate Ghana, Brand Ghana, Invest in Ghana, Promote Pan-African Heritage and Innovation, Give Back Ghana, and Diaspora Pathways to Ghana. All of these are connecting to the diaspora, to Ghanaians, to continental Africans in a way that it helps to fulfill the vision, the theme, which is a decade of African Renaissance. So if you have an event, for example, let's say Afrofuture. So Afrofuture used to be called Afrochella, and that is one of the officially endorsed events. And that event falls under the Experience Ghana because it's about experiencing. There's the culture through the concerts. There's activities happening at the festival throughout the day. So that's one of the things that falls under Experience Ghana. Anything that's tourism related falls under Experience Ghana. Now, I'm trying to think of another event. So there's another event called the Adina Conference, and that is like a business conference and networking. That falls under Diaspora Pathways to Ghana or Invest in Ghana because it's about connecting the diaspora with Ghana, talking about business. So it's about investing in Ghana. So that's another example of an event and how it ties into the pillar. So when you learn each pillar and you figure out where your event connects with, then that's how you know. And then there are some events that are completely cultural related, cultural festivals that's related to Celebrate Ghana because it's about celebrating the tradition, the culture, and the heritage of the country. So I hope you get what I'm saying, that each of the events. So if you are an event organizer, you must make sure that the event you're proposing falls in line with one of those pillars. There is a second round of submissions that you can submit your event idea by September 1st. Let me put that link on the screen as well. I'll put it in the comments because you can tap on it in the comments. I'll put it in the comments. You can submit your event if you have an event before September the 1st. So I just put it in the comments, event submission form with the link. And then if you want to support my channel, there's a link in the comments as well that you can support my channel if you would like to do some support. Let me go to the comments. Fred says visa on arrival should be available for all the visitors. That will be easy for many people. Thank you for your comment. And it is something that a sentiment many people share. Kofi says, I'm busy letting friends and family members know that you're live. Thank you. I really appreciate you so much. Thank you. So as I was saying, December in Ghana, excuse me, some of the events that are happening, I'll just mention some of them. So there's an event called the Adinkra Carnival. The Adinkra Carnival is going to be like a fusion. There's Adinkra Carnival and there's Kumasi Carnival. So there's two carnivals happening that are a fusion of African culture and Caribbean culture. So you'll see the costumes, just like you see costumes in Caribbean carnivals, and it's going to be fused with Ghanaian culture. So that is something that will be really fun. I remember the Kumasi Carnival in 2019. That was a lot of fun. That one, you had the opportunity to also see the fusion of culture, of Ghana's culture with Caribbean culture. And it was really cool. And I know that it's going to be even more exciting this time around because it's going to be bigger than it was before. I know they had a kind of a break because COVID kind of really, the COVID pandemic really caused things to slow down, and largely because of the fact that people weren't traveling. So with people not traveling, that means that some of the events just weren't happening. And some event organizers just felt like their event wasn't going to be sustainable to try to do it when there weren't a lot of people traveling. Last year was the first year that almost everything was going 100% because of travel being like widely open around the world. Let me go back to the comments now. Kofi says, watching you from Toronto. Thanks for joining. Another person saying, visa on arrival should be implemented early. Thank you for that and for that feedback. Tux Brown says, add an email subscription option and also links to artifacts, retailers, hotels, Airbnbs. Thank you for that feedback. I appreciate it. I'm going to show you an image of. I want to show you an image of what one of the costumes looked like during the Kumasi Carnival in 2019, just to give you a feel of what it looked like and what you can possibly expect this year. But this is a picture here on the screen from Kumasi Carnival. You see how it's like, it's a bit of a carnival vibe, but at the same time, it's like mixing that African culture in her costume with the grass skirt that was happening. So I just thought it was really cool to see the merging of cultures. So that's just an example of one of the costumes that was at Kumasi Carnival in 2019. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Kumasi Carnival is going to look in this year's holiday season, as well as the Adinkra Carnival, which is taking place in Accra. So the Adinkra Carnival is in Accra. Kumasi Carnival is in Kumasi. Let me go to the comments. Jose says, I hope all the young U.S. millennials have their passports up to date. If not, they need to start now. The U.S. passport process is taking forever now. He is right. I've heard from people that the passport process is taking longer than it used to in the past. Even when people are paying for express, it's still taking longer than they expect. Tux Brown says, most Americans don't have passports. Unfortunately, that is a bit of a truth. Because I remember... because I grew up in Canada, and Americans were big tourists to Canada. And before September 11th, it was so easy to just cross the border without a passport. Canadians going to the US and Americans going to Canada. You didn't need a passport. You just had to have your ID to cross the border. I know people who crossed the border with their driver's license or with even like high school IDs, people were crossing. But once after 9/11, after the September 11th terror attacks on the World Trade Center, the US said they wanted to implement passports when crossing the US Canada border. So it was initiated by the US government. And so now between Canada and the US, you have to have your passport to cross the border. We don't need visas between the two countries to travel, but we do need passports. And so when that passport thing was implemented, the Canadian tourism dropped significantly because Americans who used to just come with their driver's license weren't crossing anymore because they didn't have passports. And a lot of them didn't even want to bother getting a passport. They just were like, oh, well, I guess I'm not going to Canada. so, so yeah, hopefully that changes because having your passport is so great with travel and flexibility. Okay, back to the comments. TVS says, love the grass costume, unique, not copying. Yeah, I really liked it too. There were a whole bunch of other ones, but that's the picture that I happen to have accessible to show you as an example. Kofi Mensah says, please, does Ghana Tourism Board have schedules for all these activities on their website? Coming home with the family this Christmas and will like the schedule around these activities. So yes, there is. That's what I'm talking about right now. And I showed you on the screen a little bit earlier. If you go to the Beyond the Return website and you tap December in GH, the calendar is there and you can download it. So let me just go back to the Beyond the Return website and share the screen with you to show you what I'm talking about. Just about to share the screen, and then you can see. Okay. So Kofi, pay attention, and others who want to know. This is the Beyond the Return website. And in the middle here is the December in GH. So it'll have home, about us, pillars, and then December in GH. So I tap the December in GH, then it goes to this page, and I'll scroll up, and then it talks about December in GH. And then there's a video here that is showing some past December and GH activities. And then when you click right here, it says download events calendar. So you can actually download a PDF version of the calendar for yourself. If you don't want to download it, you can just go to the screen here and you can just look at all of the activities here. You can scroll through and see all the activities listed. So there's about, I think there's about 92 or 93 events currently listed, but there's going to be a lot more getting added. I had a lot of emails that I was responding to today. There's going to be a lot more. I anticipate that this calendar is probably going to have 200 events on it. That's my prediction. I think there's going to be about 200 events on it. So if you don't know the website, there's the website on the screen. That's the website you go to, beyondthereturngh.com. And you can find the entire calendar when you tap December in GH and click download. And then you can scroll down and you'll see the download. And then you can download the entire calendar. I hope that was very, very helpful. Hope that was very, very helpful because that will definitely be easy for you to download on your phone or download on your laptop, and then you have it accessible for you to plan your journey. Adanko says acquiring a Ghanaian visa now takes a long time, so why not petition the government to make visa on arrival available all year? Thank you for the feedback. It is something I will share. Thank you for the feedback. And Frank says most of Americans don't travel outside. Yeah, a lot of Americans I know, have known throughout my life, have not traveled outside the United States. They tend to travel within the 50 states. Excuse me while I sip my tea. Yeah, a lot travel within the United States, within the 50 states. They do have a lot in their country to see. So a lot of them will just want to stay within their own country and have no desire to travel outside. Back to the comments. Kofi says, thanks for the info. Joined a bit late. No worries at all. You are most welcome. Tuck says this site is not navigation friendly. I will pass that along. I'm not the one who created the website. I will pass that along. I do know that there is a plan to redevelop the entire website. So yeah, thank you for the feedback. Kofi's okay. That one just went in twice. All right. So yeah, I hope that that's been helpful for some of you with respect to the December in Ghana events that are happening. Um, so also, I want to mention, since I'm here, that I've been more actively involved in participating in panel discussions and speaking engagements. This week, I'll be speaking at an event at Wine Cafe, which is going to be an industry event. And I'm going to be speaking on content creation. So this is going to be really interesting, and I'm really excited about it. It's a industry conversation, the business of content creation, on the 24th, which is Thursday, at Wine Cafe. Tickets are 100 Ghana cities, um, which is for Americans who might be here, and if they're spending dollars, which is like maybe $22. Um, so that's going to be a really it's going to be a really interesting evening, as well as I share some of my journey and experiences on content creation, and how business owners in Ghana and in other parts of West Africa can use some of the skills and knowledge that I've learned. So here's the flyer. Industry conversation with Ivy Prosper, business of content creation. That is on August 24th from 6 to 8 at Wine Cafe. It's going to be a really, really good day of discussion. And I am excited about sharing some of my journey when it comes to creating content in Ghana, in Africa, and sharing some of the knowledge that some people don't have. And it might seem very basic to some of you out there who maybe are also content creators, but a lot of businesses in Ghana and in Africa in particular are still weary of using social media when it comes to promoting their businesses, or still don't understand the whole business of creating content that will help benefit their companies, their services, whatever it is that they provide, products. And so I'll be there to answer any questions for them and to give some insight on some of the value. And I think, because I've spent the last 4 years managing a entire digital marketing campaign for the country for Year of Return and then Beyond the Return, it like literally I've managed a country's campaign to invite people from abroad to come to Ghana. That's a major, major, major accomplishment to have managed something so big. And it's such a feat that it has influenced so many people to come to Ghana or to go to another African country. If they decide not to choose Ghana, they have had the opportunity to see the potential of this country, which leads them to even look at Africa, because some people never in their life thought about Africa. So my work managing that campaign, and also managing my own personal digital content, and then consulting other companies on some of their content, is definitely something that is beneficial, that I can share when I have this business conversation on Thursday at Wine Cafe. So I'm really excited about that. So if you are in Ghana, you can certainly attend this event. Tickets are available on Eventbrite, I believe. Or I think you can pay at the door as well. It's 200 Ghana cities, as I said, to attend this event. So let me go to the comments. Kofi said, Ivy, what are you drinking? Oh, I was drinking tea. It was just tea. It was just tea. Tea in my Amsterdam mug. I got this in Amsterdam some years ago, many years ago, actually. This mug is like, I think I got this in 2004, and it's in great condition. Like, amazing. Okay. Let's go back to the comments. Kofi says, Ivy's always looking sharp. Thank you. I appreciate it. And let's see. Ivy's a model, if you all didn't know that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um, I like your glasses, great color. Thank you, Xavier. These are actually by they're a black owned brand called Kai Alchi Eyewear, and it's out of Atlanta, Georgia. So I should put that on the screen so that you can know. And if you want to patronize a black owned brand, you can do that. Let me just put the name of it. I get a lot of compliments on these. Someone has said that they've become like my brand almost, but this is the name of the company that my eyeglasses are from. Um, it's always great supporting Black businesses, Black brands. So that's where those come from. Thank you so much for the compliments. I appreciate it. Kofi says, I'll be coming to Ghana in 2025. Great. Save, save, save. Ghana is more expensive than people think. Save, 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 save. Save your money. Um, so yeah, so I'm going to be doing that business discussion on content creation, which I'm really, really excited about. It's just 2 days away, 2 days away. And it's going to be a really, really good discussion. Another thing, some news that's come up for me is I have a new TV show that's going to be coming out very soon. It's going to be on AUKUS Media, and that is actually a streaming app. If you are wanting information, you can let me just type up what it is that you know. It's called AUKUS Media, but you can download their app or subscribe on your laptop at AUKUS. I think it's AUKUS.tv. AUKUS.tv. I'm just putting it on the screen so that you can see it. So my new TV show is going to be on AUKUS Media, AUKUS.tv. I'll share more information as information comes, but I'll be interviewing some really interesting people for that. And it's only going to be available on the streaming platform, exclusively on the streaming platform. And it is a Black owned streaming platform. It is owned by a Black man. So if you can support, and this streaming platform does the best that they can to support content creators, filmmakers who are creating stories from Africa, from the Caribbean, from the diaspora, like everywhere. Creators, and I'm not saying there's only people of color, but it's majority supporting people of color who have content and need a place to stream it. Maybe you have content, maybe you have a film, maybe you have a series, maybe you have something you created. You can reach out to AUKUS Media and see if they'd be interested in negotiating something based on what your content is. So I always think it's great to support Black brands, support African brands, and the owner, it's interesting. He is very diverse. He's a Ghanaian, from Barbados and Canada. So very diverse guy with a lot of experiences and exchange of the Caribbean and the African culture. So he definitely is really cool. So if you are looking for a new streaming platform, you can try AUKUS Media, AUKUS.tv. That's where my show is going to be streaming in a few months. I'm really excited about it. So I want to share that with you here today. So there's a lot of things going on. I'm going to be speaking on September 2nd at an event in the Volta region in Sogakope. That is also about the creative arts, the creative industry, and sharing knowledge with the people there about content creation and how you can use it for globally promoting your brand or business. Let's see. Let us go to the comments and see what's being said in the comments. Make sure all to click the like button and donate to the channel for our queen here. Thank you. Thank you. Somebody has a question for you, Kofi. How's your uncle Azuma Nelson, great champion? Tell him I said hi. Is that really your cousin? Is it your uncle? Is Azuma Nelson really your uncle? I met him a few times because of my work. Cool guy. Is your new channel up and running? It's not my channel. So I have a TV show, and it's going to be on AUKUS Media. AUKUS Media is owned by a Ghanaian, Bayesian Canadian, and he supports content from mostly content from people of color around the world. So if you are interested in seeing my show that's coming soon, it's going to be on that channel. So it's not a channel that I have, but I mean, it's going to be on that streaming platform. Yeah. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. So I have quite a bit that's going on in recent times, as well as there's a business I'm also working on developing at the moment too. So I have a lot of things going on, and just trying to keep myself busy and not get too tired, because I've added going to the gym. I hadn't gone to the gym in the longest time, but now I'm going to the gym again. So it is going to be it's it's new experiences this year. Well, going to the gym isn't new. It's just I hadn't done it in a long time, and now I'm going back to it. So yeah. TVS says congratulations on the new TV show. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. So yeah, so those of you who may be joining and you weren't here earlier, the purpose of this was to talk about December in Ghana, because the events had been officially unveiled by the Ghana Tourism Authority, the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, the Beyond the Return Secretariat. And I wanted to make sure that you had the information, because sometimes people say they don't have the information, they never heard about it. So I want to make sure that, you know, all the bases are covered, because I have been posting about it on the social media platforms, but not everybody's checking those social media platforms. We sent a press release out to all the media, and so the media have shared information about the calendar of events being out, but sometimes people don't read. So I thought I would come on here and share with my audience, so that people know that the calendar of events is there, and that it's your opportunity, if you have an event, to you know, add it to the calendar. Now, Kofi says, Ivy, you should have a live call-in program. Brothers and sisters would love to talk with you. Oh, really? What do y'all want to talk about? What y'all want to talk about? What do y'all want to talk about? What you want to talk about with a sister? Let's see. Do people want to join? What do you want to talk about? Should I give everybody a minute to talk? I didn't prepare the link, because there's a link I could make for people to join the live stream and have a discussion. But I did not prepare the link. Let me see. I think there's a way I can. Oh, yes, I can. Let's see. Inviting guests on. So if you have a question for me, no profanity. I had to say that. No profanities. So if you have a question, I can put the link in the comments, and I can answer your question. And it will be one question. Jose Long says, young people like yourself, Wodemaya, Odana Network, and others are doing a wonderful job promoting Ghana and beyond the continent. Thanks so much. A bunch to all of you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. So here's the link. I'm putting the link in the comments. The link is in the comments. If you want to come on this live stream and ask me one question. One question, you can join the live stream and I'll answer one question. And then, it make it interactive, give you a chance to join. Join me while I sip my cup of tea. I'm normally a coffee person. I love coffee. I'm normally a coffee person, but this evening I'm having tea. It's not my usual thing, but anyway. So yeah, so the link is in the comments. If somebody wants to join the live stream, you just tap the link, and then you'll pop up, and I will let you in to the room to ask me a question. So now I'm just waiting to see if anybody has any question. If not, then not. So yeah. So if you're coming to Ghana for for the first time. Maybe there's questions you have. I normally do these as consultations. People pay me for consultations to get information about Ghana. So this is your chance to ask me a question. This is your chance to ask me a question. And you get your question answered. One question. Excuse me. So December is a very busy time in Ghana. If you've never been, I recommend giving yourself extra time, whatever you do. So let's say you want to do a few things through the day, give yourself an extra hour of travel time, because traffic can get really heavy in Accra if you're trying to move around Accra during the holiday season, the month of December, especially the last 2 weeks of December. So I recommend that you add an extra hour of travel time whenever you're moving around the city, because you will get caught in traffic at some point in time in December for sure. Some advice when taking Uber, Bolt, Yango. Those are the rideshare services in Ghana. So Uber, Bolt, I'm putting it on the screen, and Yango. For those who don't know, those are the rideshare services in Ghana. Just typing it out, and then I'll put it on the screen for you. So Uber, Bolt, and Yango are the rideshare services in Ghana. Now, it's great when people come from abroad and they're excited because there's Uber, Bolt, and Yango. They can, especially people who have Uber app already on their phone, they're like, perfect. If you have the app on your phone, you don't need to do anything except when you get to Ghana, you will notice that the app gives you an option to pay with cash. If you've never been to Ghana, you will learn very quickly that Ghana is a cash society, cash and mobile money society. So Uber drivers and the Bolt drivers, the Yango drivers, they absolutely, most of them, not all, but most of them absolutely hate it when a customer comes with a card payment. A lot of times they'll even call you and they'll ask you, is this a card payment? Because if it's a card payment, they do not want to take you. They want cash in hand. So my advice is change your app when you get to Ghana, update it to add the cash payment option so that you can deal with just doing cash payments when you are in Ghana. Once you leave, that cash payment option will disappear off of the app. Because I know when I went to Canada last year, the cash option is gone. When you come back, the cash option is there. So it's a good idea that you make that adjustment when you arrive so that you don't run into any challenges when you are trying to get a drive somewhere from point A to point B. But you will definitely face this challenge that all of us who live here face, and that is you make your request and the driver automatically sends you a message and says, please, where are you going? Because they want to know where you're going before you get in the car, because they don't want to take you sometimes. They decide, I don't want to go here, I don't want to go there, and they'll cancel the trip. Then you're left to fend and try to find somewhere else, to find another driver to get you to where you're going. It can be very challenging because some of these drivers don't want to go long distances. Sometimes they don't want to go to certain parts of town, and sometimes they just don't want to go. Sometimes they've planned things in wherever they've planned and they don't want to go outside of that area. So it is something that you have to also account for, add time in for. If you are a traveler coming to Ghana and you plan to go to a lot of these events happening in mostly in Accra, if your hotel is in Tema, you will struggle because the Uber drivers do not want to go back to Tema, especially at night, early morning. But most of the time, they don't want to go at all. But it's worse when it's night. So and the thing is, you can get cheaper hotels in Tema than in Accra. And so that might end up enticing you to get a hotel in Tema. Also, you can get a cheaper hotel in Kaswa, which is outside of Greater Accra. It's like borderline. It's in the central region of Ghana, but it's borderline to Accra, Greater Accra region. And a lot of drivers don't want to go there either. So like Kaswa, Malam, uh, McCarthy Hill, like those places are further out where some of the drivers don't want to go there either. And so my recommendation is if you choose to get a hotel that is going to be in the outskirts, that it's not close to town, look into hiring a private driver that will be at your beck and call. You've paid them a fee and they're your driver for like a solid 2 weeks. Then you don't ever have to worry because they're going to be with you, ride or die. They're going to be with you, trying to request cars all the time. But if you're staying in town, like if you're staying in Osu, you're staying in Laboni, you're staying in cantonments, you're staying in certain places, you won't be as challenged with getting transportation with the Uber, Bolt, or Yango. I hope that that has been helpful. Let's see. Let me go back to the comments and see. Knowledge Seeker says, "Hi, V. Look elegant as always. Have you heard anything about the Diasporan Citizenship Program?" Well, there's not really a diaspora citizenship program per se, but I think you're talking about the ease of getting citizenship for the diaspora. And what I know is they're still working on it. I thought that by now it would have passed, but I think they're on the fourth draft of a bill called the Homeland Return Act. And it's a bill that would make it easier for the diaspora to get citizenship in Ghana. And so it's been in Parliament for a long time, and now it's either the fourth or fifth draft. That means that they've made changes to it every time they have meetings, made changes to it. So I'm not sure when it's going to pass, but that is what I know. But once it does pass, it would make citizenship easier for people and faster than the current process for people from the diaspora. Also to note, that is also the act is also for Ghanaians who live abroad, people of Ghanaian descent. So, for example, let's say somebody born in the United States and it's their grandparents who are Ghanaians. That means they're descendants of Ghanaians, but they were born in America. It also applies to those people too, to be able to apply for the citizenship. But the Ghanaian people of Ghanaian heritage have always had a different way that they can go when they use family as their way to get citizenship. Having a grandparent fill out an affidavit and that kind of stuff is what they can do to get citizenship, compared to the historical diaspora, which are the people who were displaced because of the transatlantic slave trade by no fault of their own. So hopefully this bill passes soon because it's been in Parliament for a while. So I hope it passes soon. Thank you so much for your question. Kofi says, please, a suggestion to Ghana Tourism. It's Ghana Tourism Authority, but Ghanaians still keep saying Ghana Tourism Board. They used to be called Ghana Tourism Board. They changed their name in 2011. We're now in 2023, and Ghanaians still say Ghana Tourism Board. But just to note, Kofi, it's Ghana Tourism Authority. Why would they not advertise the December activities with most of the YouTubers who promote Ghana? Like, are you saying they should pay them to promote it? Is that what you're saying? Because I know that it's been shared with the media, and the media chooses what they do with it. So people who are bloggers and content creators would fall under the media. A lot of media took the story and created stories from it. The news created stories from it. So I don't have a specific answer to why it wouldn't have been sent specifically to YouTube creators. But YouTube creators fall under like media, so they could take it upon themselves if they want to promote it as well. Before I started working at Ghana Tourism Authority, before I started working there, I used to talk about things that I heard about from Ghana Tourism Authority. Year of Return, I didn't start working with them from the very beginning. I was promoting it because I went to the press conference, I found out about it, and I went on my own. I created content on my own talking about it before I started working there. And so when I say that, because what I'm saying is people choose what stories they want. um, Sometimes, especially now with content creation, there's a lot of people who have created their brand, they created what it is they do, and they don't necessarily always want to talk about it. They don't necessarily want to talk about what Beyond the Return or what the December in Ghana events are. Not everybody does. So they have their brand and what they do, and it's not necessarily something they're doing. But when the events happen, maybe they will go to the events and cover the events, but they don't necessarily talk about the announcements and the press around it when it's leading up to it. So everybody does what they choose to do. But thank you so much for your question and for your feedback. Let's see. Trying to go back to the comments here. Admin Bentley says, would like to use my 7-bedroom house for an Airbnb. Is there a link to connect with any agencies dealing with that aspect? If it's Airbnb, you go on Airbnb, because people are looking at Airbnb to find places to stay in Ghana. So you can go on Airbnb and list it there. You can also reach out to like different organizations that you think might be willing to promote it, because people aren't always willing to promote what, like, your Airbnb for you to make money. Are you giving them something for it? Like, are you giving them a cut of what you're doing? Because Airbnb is taking a percentage of when you post it on their site. Are you going to give somebody a percentage to promote your place? Because people don't realize it's work to promote someone else's business, to promote someone else's stuff. So, I mean, you can reach out to different organizations. You can reach out to the African American Association of Ghana and see if maybe they know of anybody who's coming and looking for a place to stay. You can look for, like, just look for where hotels are being posted and see if maybe you can get your stuff on the site. But you probably have to pay a percentage of what you're making to the site, if that makes any sense. Or you connect with an agent and see if an agent would be willing to promote it. And that also goes with a fee as well, right? The agent's going to want a percentage. The Ghana Tourism Authority does not promote hotels, does not promote anybody's properties that's being rented, property for sale. They do not promote those private business entities. It's not promoted. We get every day, I have messages in our inbox of people saying, I have a house for rent, can you post it? I have an apartment for rent, can you share it? But if I share it personally on my own personal, I also want a cut for me taking my time to spend the time to be promoting someone's business, because it's time. It is time. And that's the truth. That's the truth. I spend a lot of times promoting a lot of things for people free. I've promoted a lot of things for free. But I think that we have to look at some partnerships when it comes to promoting certain things, when it comes to this type of thing. But that's my suggestion, is looking for organizations that maybe connect with the diaspora, looking for travel companies, tour guides, because sometimes the tour guides are looking for places that they can have people stay. When you go on Instagram or on Facebook, you can look up tour companies in Ghana and see who has people coming that is looking for a place to stay, and see. Also, there's a lot of Facebook groups. There's a lot of Facebook groups of renting apartments in Ghana, or renting to the diaspora, renting. Like, there's a lot of Facebook groups. There's so many Facebook groups that you could look for. But then some of them don't want people promoting. I've seen some that don't want people promoting, but you can certainly try and see. That's my suggestion. I hope that's helpful. Next one. Are most, if not all, the 16 regions being promoted for December? Are activities being spread around each region? This question is one that we get all the time, and it's been happening like every year. Now, I think what I want people to recognize is that we put out a call for all event organizers to submit their event ideas. And every year we say, we encourage event organizers to do events across the entire country. We don't choose where the event is. Event organizers have their events. They submit their event idea to us. We go through and curate. We look at all of the events and see who has the capacity to do what they said they want to do, and all different things. All different factors come into play. And then some are selected. Now, if we've said we want events across the country, and if 100 applicants come in and 99 of them are all Accra and there's only one somewhere else, I mean, that's not us. That is the reality, that people are choosing to do their events in Greater Accra. And to be honest, there's a reason that a lot of event organizers choose to do Greater Accra than other regions. I'll get to that in a moment. That being said, there are events happening in other regions, but I think 75% of them are in Greater Accra this year. But it's slowly growing. We are seeing more people from other regions, so that's why it's grown a little bit more now. So I was saying that there's a reason that people who are event organizers choose Greater Accra. If you're a business person and you're doing an event, a lot of them, they want to make a profit. They want to break even. They want to make a profit. They don't want to go at losses. So they choose where they feel is easiest, and they choose Accra. And this is conversations with event organizers, because logistics also come into play. Somebody's coming to Ghana for the first time, let's say, because a lot of the people come, it's their first time coming. When it's your first time visiting a country, most of the time you go to the major cities, even the United States. People go visit the US for the first time. They go to New York, they go to Los Angeles, they might go to Atlanta, like they go to the major cities. They're not going to the small cities. They're not going to somewhere in Utah. They're not going somewhere in Idaho, unless they have a family member there. They're not going to Idaho. They're not going to Wisconsin. They're going to New York. They're going to LA. The same with Canada. People come to Canada and they've never been. They go to Toronto. They go to Vancouver. They might go to Calgary, Montreal. They're not going to some small town in some rural community that nobody's there. So, and I'm using this as an example because if it's somebody's first time coming to Ghana and it's their first time coming to Africa, most of them will come to the capital city first. So a business person who makes a decision to do an event, a lot of times they're going to be like, well, I want to do an event where I know people are going to come and I'm going to make money, or I'm going to break even. So they choose Accra. The other thing is Accra is comfortable because let's say, so here's an example. Somebody said to me, Afrochella should be in Kumasi. Afrochella, now called Afro Nation. And I was like, well, they had about 16,000 people go to their event. Does Kumasi have hotels to satisfy 16,000 people? That's my question. Does Kumasi have enough hotels to satisfy 16,000 people comfortably? Because a lot of the people who also come, they want a hotel that is at least 4-star, 5-star. The 4 and 5 stars are all in Accra. Very few 4-star in the rest of the country. Majority 4 and 5-star are in Accra. I actually had a woman who wanted me to curate a trip for her, and she wanted an adventurous trip. So I was helping her with curating the trip. And then she says she loves adventure. She wants to go hiking, waterfalls, all kinds of like stuff, getting into the dirt and all this, and quad biking, all kinds of stuff she wanted. And then she said, I want adventure, but I want to sleep in a 5-star hotel. And I was like, well, the adventure you want is in the regions where there's not a 5-star hotel. So what are you going to do? She decided not to do the adventure because she wants to sleep in a 5-star hotel. And that meant staying in Accra. So unfortunately, that is the challenge that we face. And I'm not saying that there's not places to stay elsewhere. I'm just saying that that is one of the things that's the reality of what we have to consider. So 2 years ago, when I went to Tamale, um, it happened to be that there was a funeral. A politician's mother had passed, and there was a funeral happening because that's the area where the funeral was happening. So all the politicians were in town and going for this funeral. So that meant myself and my colleague, when we got there, all the good hotels, the few that are there, were gone. So where we ended up staying was a place that was more like it felt like a dorm room because that's all that was left. So I challenge those in the hospitality industry who have hotels to start building and start creating more options and experiences in other regions so that people have the opportunity to go to other places and still have somewhere that they can stay comfortably. Um, I know I've gone to places in other regions where it's like you get to the hotel room and then there's like a bucket for you to bath with a bucket. And someone coming from America who's been used to hot water showers their whole life, and they get somewhere and there's like a bucket and you have to do a bucket bath. Some of them are like, what do you mean? I don't want to do that. So that's one of the challenges. So like an event organizer feels comfortable to just do their event in Accra because they're like, well, people coming from outside are going to be comfortable in Accra. So let me just do my event in Accra. So it's one of the challenges. I'm not saying it's impossible because this year there are events in other regions. Last year we had events in other regions too. Every year we've had events in other regions, and each year it just keeps growing. So like 2019, I think there was only a few, maybe two events that were in other regions. I think one was in the Eastern region, and then one was in Kumasi in 2019. And then 2020, because of COVID, a lot of stuff was not happening in general. 2021, there was more events in other regions. And then last year we had like the most. Last year there was events in the Upper East region, in the Northern region, in the Ashanti region, in the Eastern region, in the Volta region. So it's growing each year. And this year, again, there's events in the Upper East, events in the Northern region, the Western region, Central region, Volta region, and Eastern region, and then of course Greater Accra. So this year there's a more events happening in more regions. So the current calendar that's on the website that I showed earlier to download has some of those on the list, but there's more being added. As I mentioned, we have a lot more proposals that have come in. So there's more events being added, and there's a few more that are going to be in different regions. So if you're an event organizer right now and watching, and you're doing an event in another region, I encourage you to submit your event. I put the link earlier in the comments. Let me see if I can do it again so that those who may not have been on earlier, who may have missed it, I'll put it in the comments again right now so that if you have an event and you want to submit, you can submit. It's in the comments. It's in the comments. So if you have an event, if it's in another region, awesome. If you have an event in another region, your chances are even higher of being being added on the calendar because there's few in the other regions. What I advise you do if you're an event organizer in another region is make sure that you have an event that is a great experience. And also, considering what's on the calendar already, you should make it something that is not competing with something that is big. When I say that, what I mean is, if you are a new artist, would you put your concert on the same day as Beyonce? Do you think anybody's coming to your show? That's what I'm saying. So like, if you're an event organizer who has a small event, you're just starting, you're in another region, don't put your event on the same day as Afrochella, now known as Afrofuture. That's my opinion. Don't put your event on the same day because a lot of people are going to go to Afrochella, known as Afrofuture now. So my advice is try to choose a time when you think people would be free to come to your event when it's a smaller event and when it's in another region. Also, an idea for event organizers. event organizers is if you partner with a tour company, like there's tour companies that now are looking at going to other regions. I traveled on a trip that was a northern regional trip with the intent of showcasing some of the historical sites in other parts of the country for the diaspora to see some of the places where there's connection with the transatlantic slave trade and other historical sites. And so these tour guides came with us, these tour companies, so that they can also see these sites and so they can incorporate it in their future tours. So my advice, free advice, event organizers, if you have an event, let's say your event is you're doing your event in Tamale, I would suggest finding a tour company that would incorporate your event in the tour. That guarantees people will come to your event. Because event organizers, when they do their tour packages in December, they create an itinerary of events that their people are going to. So like some of these event organizers, when they promote their tour, they have like a 10-day tour to Ghana. And in their tour, they include, we'll go to Afrochella on this day. We go to Taste of Ghana on that day. We go to this event on that day. So they actually incorporate these events in their tour packages. So if you're an event organizer and you want someone to come to your region, talk to a tour company and see if they're building a tour for people coming to your region. And then you can put your event as part of the tour package. As I said, that guarantees people are coming because they've paid for a tour that includes your event. Free advice for you event organizers out there. Try it and see. So let me go back to the comments. Kwame says, your life sounds so cool. Thank you. I mean, it has its ups and downs. I have my downs, which is not something I really share too much publicly, but I've had my downs, trust me. You can call into the live program right here now. Yes, I put the link in there, but nobody's come on. Nobody's jumped on with me. So it's okay. I know people are shy. People could be laying in their beds, comfortable, looking at their phone and not ready to come on camera. So I get it. Edmund Bentley says, true businesswoman. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Abby says, dang, why go live now? I have a class to go to. Well, have a good class. Thanks for the few seconds you were able to join. True. Nope. I don't know what he says. Nope to. It could be something else. You on point, Ivy. Thank you so much. And then this is the event submission. I put this. This is in the comments, in the live stream comment section. If you have an event that you want to submit, it's not too late. You have until September 1st. You have until September 1st to submit your event. September 1st. All right. You can submit your event. As I said, September 1st. I put the event submission form in the comments for a reason, because I know someone's out there who has an event that wants to submit or an idea. Ivy, thank you very much for coming here today. We love you very much and keep up the great work you're doing. Thank you. I really appreciate you. Jose says, sounds like the hospitality industry is wide open for business opportunities for diasporans. Definitely wide open. So many opportunities. As long as you have the patience, you got to have the patience. The patience. Mayor Bree may be possible for events. Lots of hotels there. Rock City Hotel have more capacity. Yeah, Rock City Hotel in Eastern Region, that's closer to Kwewu. Yes, and that one is actually one of the few that is like 5-star, 4 or 5-star level. Yeah, so thanks for mentioning that. If you go to the Eastern Region, the Kwewu area, and then Abri has a lot of hotels too. There are events that happen in Abri as well. Every year, there's been one particular one that's been popular called Little Havana that happens every year as part of the December in Ghana events. So yeah, thank you for mentioning that. It is a good place for events. As I mentioned, there's been events there in the past, definitely. So, and it's not too far out of Accra. Even if you're staying in Accra, it's not too far to drive to go there. And again, with the drive, you get a private driver, rent a car, a private driver if you want to get out to these places, because sometimes the Uber drivers don't want to go longer distances, which can leave you hanging. So I advise, getting a driver so that you don't have to worry about what it is that the Uber driver is saying. Because trust me, it is like so frustrating dealing with the Uber drivers sometimes. So if you want to support my channel, feel free to support my channel. There it is on the screen. It is in the comments. You can tap that link if you want to support me on this journey of mine of promoting Ghana to the world, of sharing information. I tend to be really into sharing factual information so that you have access and so that you know what is correct information. I don't like to give out incorrect information. I've seen a lot of people giving out incorrect information, and I cringe sometimes, like, oh, they didn't even research that and they're giving out information. I prefer to just say, I don't know, if I'm not sure about something, than to just give you some answer when if I don't know. Ajwa says, hey, sister, I'll be returning home in December and look forward to connecting with you. Viola L. Sister. Oh, yes, it'll be great to see you. It'll be great to see you. Thank you. I, I should say, I hope I see you, because that's the other thing. Because of my job, whenever people December, I usually tell people I'm not going to see them. I usually tell people I'm not going to see them unless they're sick in January, because my work involves going to all of these events, capturing content to post on the social media pages for Ghana Tourism for the Beyond the Return, Year of Return. And it gets to be pretty tiring. Sometimes I have like 5-6 events in the same day. And it's exhausting. And there's already 95 events on the calendar that's on the website now. And I know there's going to be at least 100 more added. So it's going to be quite a busy December. Yeah. So it looks like nobody had any questions, because I was like telling people you can come and join. I had the banner, I had the link up. If you wanted to join, maybe I'll put the link up again and see if anybody's interested. If not, I'll be logging off soon, because it's 8 p.m. Ghana time. I'll put the link in right now. Let me live. If you have one question, you can join me live. One question. And it's no questions about my personal life, because people love to ask those questions. So yeah, one question. Join me live. The link is in the comments. Feel free to join. And yeah, because I know people are shy, so probably nobody will join. I know people are shy. Because it's not easy. It's not easy coming online in front of a bunch of strangers and talking and just talking. It's harder than people think. It's much harder than people think it is. Um, Much respect to people who do live shows, because live shows are not an easy thing to do, especially like the live news. When you see people doing news live or sports live, it is not an easy job. Yeah. So, but I really appreciate all of you who've joined today, talking about December in Ghana, all of the activities that are happening. For those who weren't here earlier, I'll go back to that screen in case you didn't get a chance to see it, where I had shared the screen to show you the December in Ghana calendar. So as I said, the calendar is on the Beyond the Return website, and you would simply go to beyondthereturngh.com, and then you would tap on the December in GH link, and you can download the entire calendar for yourself. You can download the entire calendar for yourself and look at it. But as I said, there's going to be more added to the calendar. So this is the initial launch, and you'll get a chance to see some of these events that are on here right now and decide, if it's something that you want to attend. I think there's some pretty interesting things on the calendar right now. Um, a lot of new events, that we didn't have before that have been added that I'm really looking forward to seeing, and then some of the events that we've had in the past that I'm also looking forward to seeing as well. We have more people joining the live stream. Fred, hi Fred, it's been a while. Thank you for joining. Sankofa World TV, hi, thank you for joining. Knowledge Seeker says, I've run out of questions. I would have joined. That's okay. Rita Bex, hello Ivy. Thank you for joining, Rita. I really appreciate you. Fred, I guess I came late. Yes, you came late. I've been on. I've been on for how long have I been on for? Been on for a while. I've been on for a while. I'm trying an hour and 15 minutes, I think. I've been on. So if you want to join me, I had put it in the comments that you can join me live. If you have any comments or questions, you can join me live. Let me see if I can find that link again and share it with you to join. Well, first of all, let me say this is on the screen here. This is event submission forms. You can submit your event. I've put it in the comments as well. It says event submission form. If you have an event that you are interested in doing here in Ghana, in one of the 16 regions of Ghana, you can fill out the form and submit for your event to be on the calendar. If you want to support my channel, the link is also there to support my channel. I appreciate those of you who are able to support the cause, support what I've been doing. And you can follow the Beyond the Return page on social media at Beyond the Return. There's also a website for December in Ghana, December in GH. Let me see if I can get you to that website as well. Maybe I should show you that website, because that website will also get updated information. But I think the website's not updated. Yeah, the website's not updated. I'll share that another time. I just want to check. It's not updated. Yeah. Let me go to the comments now. Question from Admin Bentley says, is there a fee for promoting an event in December? No, there's no fee. That's something that a lot of people think too. So there is no charge. Ghana Tourism Authority does not charge for your event to be promoted on the calendar. It's absolutely free. There is no charge. Just submit your event. There is no charge. Let's see what else we have here. I was saying no that Azuma. Okay, so Kofi's talking about Azuma Nelson, who's a well-known boxer in Ghana. Someone asking if it was his uncle. All right. Let's see. Good night, family. 10 p.m. in Germany. Good night, Frank. Good night. Sleep tight. Thank you for joining. Yeah, I have so many people who join from different time zones. So it's very cool when I get a chance to see that people are watching from around the world, to hear what you think of Ghana and your thoughts. And it's really, really cool. Sankovo says, God bless you for the great works doing for Mother Ghana and the entire African. Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot. That means a lot. I appreciate it. That means a lot. Sometimes it can get challenging because it's like there's so much happening. Sometimes there's pushback, and so you just never know how people feel about certain things. Yeah. So as I said, you can support my channel at this link. It's in the comments. You can support and you can submit your event with this event submission form right here. It's been great chatting with you all today. I really appreciate all of you. Fred says it's 1 p.m. there. Fred is in you must be, you're on the West Coast of the United States, right? West Coast is 7 hours behind Ghana right now. So that makes sense because it's 8 p.m. here. Hope everything is well in Cali, if that's where you are, or wherever you are on the West Coast in the US. There is so much going on around the world right now. It's sometimes it's great to be in Ghana. Ghana has its challenges, but some of the things happening around the world are pretty terrifying. I've been seeing that there's a lot of wildfires in Canada. My thoughts are with all of the people out there who are dealing with wildfires in Canada. Earlier this year, there were wildfires that were affecting the U.S. Apparently, the wildfires were so bad in Canada that the air was affecting New York State. So I hope that things are better this time around. Ivy, you have to come on later here for us in the USA. You know, the challenge of coming on later means I'm up later and then I got to work in the morning. I know I've done some late live streams where I'm up until like midnight, even 1 o'clock in the morning to accommodate the US audience. And sometimes it's challenging because then my next morning gets thrown off too. So sometimes it's tough, but thank you for that feedback. I appreciate it. I'll try that again next time. Fred says San Diego. Yeah, we survived the storm. Ooh. And it says it's only 4 p.m. in T.O. That's right. 4 o'clock in Toronto. Yeah. That's how I know you must be from my generation. You said T.O. The younger people always say the 6. The younger people always say the 6. Kobe says, Ivy, what am I and Kevin Taylor love doing live program. Thank you. Yeah, doing live gives you a chance to engage with your audience. Yeah. Doing live helps you engage with your audience. So yeah, I usually like doing live for that reason. It gives you a chance to have conversations with your audience, to hear from them, and get feedback, get direct feedback and direct questions. So it's always a good thing. So I think that's it for this evening. I'm going to wrap up because I was hoping that people would join the live stream today and chat, but nobody joined the live when I put the links in the comments. So overall, I wanted to talk about December in Ghana, the events happening, and then also let you know that if you have an event, it's not too late for you to submit your event. I had put the link in the comments. When this live stream is over, I'll pin the link to the top of comments, and I'll also put it in the description box. So thank you so much, everybody who has joined me today. I really appreciate you. Wishing you all a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, night, depending on where you are in the world. I appreciate you. My name is Ivy Prosper, sharing stories from Africa and the African diaspora. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.